In global trade, a bold new idea is gaining traction. China is considering a $50 billion canal to connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. This isn't just another waterway, it's a project that could reshape the world's shipping map. The canal would be wider and deeper than any before, built to handle the largest ships on Earth. It would offer an alternative to the Panama Canal, easing congestion and opening new trade possibilities. For China, this is about more than trade. It's about influence and securing vital export routes. The scale is staggering, one of the largest infrastructure projects ever imagined. Global trade is booming, and existing routes are straining under the pressure. A new canal could cut shipping times and costs, especially for China's exports. But this isn't just about digging a ditch, it's about redrawing the map of world commerce. The engineering, political, and environmental challenges are immense. The canal would cut through a nation, altering its geography and economy forever. If successful, it could create jobs, boost economies, and redefine global supply chains. Yet, the risks are as great as the rewards. The world is watching to see if this audacious vision will become reality. Today, on August 4, 2025, the future of global trade hangs in the balance. Will China's $50 billion gamble pay off, or will the obstacles prove insurmountable? The answer could change how goods move around our planet for generations. The stakes have never been higher. China's mega-canal ambition is rooted in a long tradition of monumental projects. From the Great Wall to the Grand Canal, Chinese dynasties have shaped their nation with bold engineering. The Grand Canal, the world's longest man-made waterway, unified China's economy and culture. This legacy of thinking big continues today. Modern China has built the Three Gorges Dam and the world's largest high-speed rail network. These feats show China's ability to mobilize resources and expertise on a massive scale. The proposed canal in Central America is the next step, taking this legacy global. It's not just about economics, it's about national pride and influence. China's history explains why it dares to dream so big. The world has seen China turn impossible projects into reality before. Now it's aiming to do it again, this time on the world stage. The echoes of history are unmistakable. For over a century, the Panama Canal has been the world's shortcut between oceans. Opened in 1914, it revolutionized trade by saving ships thousands of miles. Its lock system, a marvel of engineering, lifts vessels 85 feet above sea level to cross the isthmus. But times have changed. Ships are bigger, and the canal is struggling to keep up. Even after a 2016 expansion, the largest ships can't fit. Climate change has brought severe droughts, lowering water levels and causing delays. Bottlenecks and costly auctions for passage are now common. Shipping companies are searching for alternatives. The canal's vulnerabilities have become clear. Its success has created demand for more capacity and a new competitor. The world's reliance on this single route is risky. That's why the idea of a new, larger canal, backed by China, is being taken seriously. The Panama Canal's century of dominance may be nearing a turning point. The next chapter in global trade could be written elsewhere. The stakes for shipping and for nations have never been higher. The world is ready for change. 90% of global goods travel by sea, relying on a handful of narrow choke points. As trade grows, these routes are under strain. Congestion, delays, and rising costs are the new normal. Megaships, built for efficiency, now outsize many ports and canals. The world's infrastructure hasn't kept pace. The 2021 Suez Canal blockage showed how fragile global trade really is. Billions were lost in days, exposing our dependence on a few key passages. Geopolitical tensions add to the risk. Some routes pass through unstable regions or are controlled by rival powers. For China, relying on US-influenced routes like Panama is a strategic vulnerability. A new canal would offer resilience, redundancy, and more control. It's not just about economics. It's about national security. The world needs more options to keep trade flowing. The push for a new canal is a direct response to these pressures. The future of shipping depends on building a more flexible, secure network. The stakes are global, and the competition is fierce. The next big move could change everything. The world's supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. China wants to build a new one. At 173 miles, it would dwarf the Panama Canal, using Lake Nicaragua as a key segment. The canal would be wider and deeper, built for the world's largest ships. China's involvement would give it influence over a new global trade artery. The project promises faster, cheaper routes for Asian exports to the US and Europe. But controversy looms, environmental risks, displacement of communities, and doubts about financial viability. The Nicaraguan government granted a 50-year concession to a Hong Kong-based company, but progress has stalled. Environmentalists warn of threats to Lake Nicaragua, the country's main freshwater source. Thousands could be displaced, and the project's future is uncertain. Still, the potential rewards are enormous, for Nicaragua and for China. If built, it would be one of the largest engineering feats in history. The world is watching to see if this vision can overcome its many obstacles. The Panama Canal, even after expansion, has size limits, handling ships up to 14,000 containers. The proposed Nicaragua Canal would be much larger, built for the world's biggest vessels. Its route is longer but could be more direct for ships from East Asia to the U.S. East Coast. Water supply is a critical issue for both canals. Panama faces drought and water shortages. Nicaragua's vast lake could be an advantage or an environmental disaster. Politically, Panama is stable and U.S.-aligned. Nicaragua's project is tied to China and faces more uncertainty. Shipping companies must weigh the benefits of a bigger canal against geopolitical risks. The choice isn't just about logistics, it's about strategy and security. A new canal would force the world to rethink trade routes and alliances. The stakes are high for both countries, and for global commerce. The decision will shape the future of shipping for decades. The world's biggest ships need a new path. Will Nicaragua deliver? A new canal in Nicaragua would shake the world, starting with Panama. Panama's economy depends on its canal. A rival could threaten its prosperity and strategic role. For the U.S., a Chinese-backed canal in Central America is a major challenge to its influence. It could shift the balance of power in the region and raise security concerns. Asian exporters, especially China, would benefit from faster, cheaper routes. U.S. East Coast ports could see more traffic, while West Coast ports might lose out. Nicaragua could see an economic boom, but also faces debt, environmental risks, and social upheaval. Neighboring countries would feel the ripple effects, both positive and negative. The project could redraw economic and political maps across the Americas. Winners and losers would emerge, alliances would shift. The canal's impact would go far beyond shipping. It would reshape economies, societies, and power dynamics. The stakes are continental. The world is watching to see who will gain and who will lose. The future of the region hangs in the balance. One project could change everything. A $50 billion canal is more than an engineering feat. It's a tool of global power. The project fits China's Belt and Road Initiative, extending its influence into the Americas. By funding infrastructure abroad, China builds partnerships and gains leverage. A canal in Nicaragua would be a signature move, right in the U.S.'s backyard. It's soft power and action winning friends, shaping economies and securing trade routes. Control over a new canal would give China influence over global shipping flows. It would strengthen ties with Latin America and challenge U.S. dominance. The rivalry between the U.S. and China would intensify, with the canal as a new front. This isn't just about trade, it's about who sets the rules for the 21st century economy. The canal would symbolize a shift from a U.S.-led world to a multipolar order. Infrastructure is power. Whoever controls the routes controls the flow of goods and money. China's canal would be a strategic asset, a bargaining chip, and a statement of ambition. The global chessboard is changing. The canal is a move that could reshape the game. The world is watching as China steps up to lead and to challenge. The stakes are nothing less than the future of global power. The next era of trade could be defined by this single audacious project. A Chinese-backed canal in Central America could redraw the map of global trade. Two major routes between the Atlantic and Pacific would create new competition and efficiencies. Bigger, more efficient ships could drive down costs and shift supply chains. The canal could spark economic growth across the region, but success isn't guaranteed. Financial, engineering, and environmental hurdles remain. The project would symbolize a new multipolar world, with China and the U.S. vying for influence. The canal would be more than a trade route, it would be a fault line in global power. China's vision challenges the century-old dominance of the Panama Canal. As of August 4, 2025, the future is uncertain, but the conversation has already changed. The world must now rethink trade, security, and the balance of power. One project could define the next century of commerce. The stakes and the possibilities are immense.